What's going on, guys? Hail to the Hogs, back again with another video. So I know my first video, it's been about a week. We did the first mock draft of the year for the top 15. This video is going to be the updated mock. In this past week, we've had the trade where the New York Jets moved up to number 3, swapping picks with Indianapolis to move down to 6, along with some other compensation. And then I believe that's the only change we've had. Obviously, it only takes one trade to shake up an entire draft, as we've seen before. So there are different picks than last time in this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. So at number 1, I have the Cleveland Browns taking Sam Darnold out of USC. I believe in the first one I had them taking Saquon first. I think that with the emergence of Carlos Hyde on the roster, signing, I believe, a 3 or 4 year deal, I don't see them taking a running back number 1 overall. With this trade also, I think they have an assumption that they can probably secure Saquon at 4, with the top 3 picks probably all being quarterback. So I have them taking Darnold. I think he's the strongest out of the group. And yeah, I just have the Cleveland Browns taking Sam Darnold number 1. At number 2, I have the New York Giants taking Josh Allen out of Wyoming. Ideally, I think these two quarterbacks will be the 1 and the 2 pick. Which order, I'm not too sure about yet. But as for right now, I have the Giants taking Josh Allen. Some other players that they could potentially pick, obviously Saquon, if they want to stick with Eli for a year or two and maybe develop Davis Webb some more, or Quentin Nelson as a safe pick, but I believe they'll go quarterback here in round 1. At number 3, we have the New York Jets, who have traded up to number 3, taking Josh Rosen out of UCLA. I think the general consensus here is that they will take whatever quarterback is left out of the top 3. So in this scenario, they're taking Josh Rosen out of UCLA, one of the most natural passers in this draft. One of the best natural passers in this draft, I should say. Very talented, and I think this trade will pay off well for them if they can develop Josh Rosen to be a franchise quarterback. At number 4, I have the Cleveland Browns taking Saquon Barkley. I put this pick here because for this top 15, I'm not going to do any of my own fantasy trades, you could say. I'm just going to go with the picks as they are. I'm sure we'll see some picks here traded around before the draft and probably on draft night, I'm sure. But I'm going to stick with the stock, I guess, the set draft order as it is right now. So I have Cleveland taking Saquon at number 4. I could see them going defense, but at number 4, if you're the Cleveland Browns, I don't think you can pass up a talent like Saquon Barkley and take arguably the top 2 best talented players in this entire draft, depending on position. Or not depending on position, just overall talent. You set yourself up really well for offense for the future with these 2 picks. At number 5, I have the Denver Broncos selecting Quentin Nelson out of Notre Dame. So I think they still don't go quarterback here due to the signing of Case Keenum. Seeing that press conference and what John Elway had to say, he seems to have a lot of confidence in Case Keenum as a starting quarterback. And I don't think that's necessarily a wrong accusation to make if you build around him. Guard is a huge need for the Denver Broncos, and Quentin Nelson's arguably one of the best guard prospects we've seen in a very long time. On to number 6, the Indianapolis Colts top prospect on the board from day 1 is still available, and they will be taking Bradley Chubb, an edge rusher out of NC State. I think that this pick just made perfect sense from the beginning. Even if they were to take him at 3, this just kind of makes them, it just kind of makes everything a lot better for them, honestly. They get the player they wanted all along, and they go ahead and secure 3 second-round picks. So, yeah, Bradley Chubb, I said it in my first video, he's just elite. He's got really long arms. The Indianapolis Colts haven't had an elite pass rusher since the days of Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis. So, I mean, it just makes perfect sense, and he's still available for them at number 6 with the trade down included. So at number 7, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selecting Minkah Fitzpatrick out of Alabama. They have a lot of needs across the board, cornerback being one of them. And I think Minkah Fitzpatrick's one of the most talented defensive backs in this class. He can play at a lot of different positions in the secondary. And I think I had a couple different defensive backs going here, but I think ultimately they take Minkah Fitzpatrick out of Alabama. At number 8, I have the Chicago Bears taking Calvin Ridley out of Alabama. I didn't like this pick originally, especially with the signing of Allen Robinson. But I think they could go Calvin Ridley here. They haven't had a strong receiving core in so long. Kevin White just didn't pan out. A lot of different guys have been in and out of there, not being too productive. So I think bringing in a rookie wide receiver with the emergence of Allen Robinson, I just think it helps out that offense a lot, and it helps out speed up the development of Mitch Trubisky. So at number 8, I have Calvin Ridley to the Chicago Bears. At number 9, I have the San Francisco 49ers taking Denzel Ward out of Ohio State. Another team with a big need at corner, and I think Denzel Ward is the best true corner in the draft. Great power, not too big size-wise, but great athleticism, great coverage skills. I think all around just a great corner, and I think he'll fit well in San Francisco. At number 10, I have the Oakland Raiders selecting Roquan Smith out of Georgia. Big need there at linebacker. Roquan Smith, best linebacker in the class. Extremely athletic, extremely powerful. Kind of just comes in and fills the need immediately. He can start day one. So I have Roquan Smith going to the Raiders at number 10. At number 11, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting Tremaine Edmunds out of Virginia Tech. Another team with a big linebacker need, and I think Tremaine Edmunds is the next guy up as far as talent from this linebacker class. He's only 19. He's going to be coming into the league very young. He's very fast, a lot of skill there. I think ideally the Miami Dolphins would like to take Roquan Smith here, but they take Tremaine Edmunds at number 11. At number 12, this is another pick that, just to explain the whole not trading up thing, this is a team that could potentially trade up for a quarterback, but I'm just going to keep them here at 12. And I have them taking Baker Mayfield, and that is the Buffalo Bills, by the way. So with number 12, I have the Buffalo Bills taking Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma. Clearly kind of missed the jump to get into the top 5 with the Jets making a monster trade to move up to number 3. So unless they trade up to maybe 4 or even number 2 with New York, I think their asking price will be very high. So I'm not sure exactly where the Buffalo Bills could trade up to, but with this pick, I do have them taking Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma. Very talented quarterback. I think he could start day one, comes in and just makes the team much better. So yeah, Baker Mayfield to the Buffalo Bills. At number 13, I have the Washington Redskins taking Derwin James out of Florida State. I think that this is something that we really need. There's a ton of positions that we could use, whether it be defensive lineman, corner, linebacker. There's just positions all across the board that we could address. That being said, I think there's some defensive line talent left in free agency that we could be pursuing. This is why I didn't slot one of my traditional defensive linemen here that I have been for a while. And I go Derwin James out of Florida State. Just explosive, very talented safety. We really need a true ball-hawking safety. Our secondary is very weak. We have... we drafted Sua Cravens. He didn't pan out how people expected him to pan out. So I think bringing in Derwin James, just solidifying that safety position and making that defense a lot better than it is, will really put us in a position to win. At number 14, I have the Green Bay Packers taking Josh Jackson out of Iowa. Corner, clearly a big need there. Didn't make a whole bunch of big moves in free agency regarding the defense. So I think they go Josh Jackson out of Iowa. He's the best corner available here at number 14, and they're losing Demarius Randall to the Cleveland Browns. So that just makes the need even greater. So I think it's a good fit. I think Josh Jackson's pretty talented, and I think he'd fit in Green Bay well. All right, and at number 15 to finish this draft, ending with a little bit of a shock pick just to kind of spice things up. But it is a move that I could see potentially happening in real life. I have the Arizona Cardinals at number 15 taking Mason Rudolph out of Oklahoma State. Now, a lot of people are going to be very confused by this pick and not think it could happen. But the Arizona Cardinals are a team that really needs a quarterback. Carson Palmer obviously retiring from the National Football League. The emergence of new coach Steve Wilks. And I think a move like this just to shake things up and really show dominance could work out well for them. They're a talented team, don't have a whole lot of need. Their defense obviously got a little bit weaker with the departure of the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. But I do think a move like this, bringing in a quarterback, not worrying about best player available, and just going out there and getting your future quarterback is a move that could make fans take Steve Wilks very seriously. And, I mean, you never know. We've seen it happen before, teams reaching very high for quarterbacks that shouldn't go necessarily in the first round, and it ends up working out. So this is just a little shock pick to shake things up, I guess you could say. So yeah, Mason Rudolph to the Arizona Cardinals at number 15. So that's it. That's my top 15. Before the draft, around a week before the draft, I'm going to do a full first round. But this is my 15 for now. Let me know what you guys think. A couple controversial picks in here that you guys can talk about in the comments, I'm sure. So let me know what you guys think as always. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Instagram. It's going to be down below. It's Hail to the Hogs with a Z at the end instead of an S like the YouTube. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hail to the Redskins.